exit out of here, and then we'll go here, and then we'll come here, and I'll go there, and I'll hit that off, and I'll do this, and I'll stand here. Do you want a drink?
No, I have one drink. Thank you.
Well, I didn't get one. I don't even know if I have any left. I got some purple too. A shot of purple. Hey, what's going on?
Hello.
Yeah, it's Saturday. Hello from Texas.
What's going on, Cardiff, Clint?
You know, it's funny. So, quick story while everyone's chiming in and let us know where they're from. Air compressor. Good call.
No,
we just shut it off. We just shut it off because we were filming.
Yeah.
So we were putting the DSR-1 in Fernando's car.
Yeah.
And a funny thing, so we're sitting there and we're like, okay, you know, we're doing the hey, you know, I'm doing my talking thing that I like to do, and that you like to listen to, and it came time to set the DSR-1 or go through the section where we started setting the DSR-1, and I was like, okay, so we needed 2 iPads and an iPhone to do it.
Yes.
Think about it. Think of how silly that is. So, yeah, it was like. That was ridiculous.
Okay.
To have all of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and of course my iPad was dead, so we had to wait 10 minutes for it to have enough so we could run the iTest mic into my iPad so we could see what we were doing.
Yep.
We needed his iPad so that we could run the program. We needed my iPhone because it has the pink noise on it. Oh my gosh! I'm like, this is hilarious.
We have all the Apple stuff in there.
Yeah. Big hello. Well, regardless if it was Apple or not. What's up, John? Hey, from Southern California. Big hello. Our Morel Maximos, any good? Yes, they're awesome.
Hello from Atlanta.
Yeah, they're phenomenal. Phenomenal. Happy Saturday, fellas.
Indiana. What's
So,
up, Christian?
whether you're using a iPad or a Lexus device, it doesn't matter. It was just funny that it was like, okay, so we had 3 devices to do this one thing. I was coming to see you today, then Paul said something I wanted not in stock. Well, that's strange, but it happens from time to time.
Yeah, Pennsylvania.
So,
Yes.
that was the funny story of the day. How was your week?
That was good.
Was it?
Yeah.
Was it?
You know, not really.
No.
We have water inside the house.
Yeah, because it's been raining every day.
It's been raining every day.
So that sucks.
Now I have a gigantic vacuum that
Sucking
sucks
the water out, yeah.
And a fan.
Hey, from Panama.
Yeah.
Hello from Ohio.
A lot of noise in my apartment now.
Tried hard to be first. It's okay. It's okay. What's up from Trinidad?
How was your week?
My week was expensive.
Really?
Yeah. My week was very expensive. So, the bill for the vacation came.
Yeah.
So that was which I knew. I was expecting that, but then of course my insurance company decided to drop me, my homeowners, because the roof on our house was past a certain age.
Right.
So they were, instead of calling us and saying, hey, you know, maybe.
Can you guys check it out?
Yeah. So now I have to have a new roof put on my house. So for all of you that had that fun pleasure, so that's gonna hurt. So yeah, that was my week.
Hello from Ohio,
and yet
Panama.
the stereo in my car gets kicked back another couple months. Does the LC87i from Audio Control act like an epicenter with the bass knob? No, does not. It is not a bass restoration device at all. What it's designed, they're 2 totally different things. An epicenter is designed to create bass where bass is not. Okay?
Yeah.
It's a bass enhancer, a bass restoration. There's many different names for it. But basically it's shifting. If you watch the epicenter video we talk about that and how you pick a frequency and it shifts an octave lower. A Acubase is designed to fix bass roll-off. Okay, now what bass roll-off is something that a factory radio does as you're turning it up. So picture 2 bands of sound. This is the highs, and this is the sub. The bottom is the sub, and the top is the highs. As you're turning your volume up, your subwoofer is going to reach a point and level off. Your highs are going to keep getting louder. Your subwoofer bass is not. It's EQ'd into the radio. I'm sure you've heard it before where like everything is getting louder, but the bass sound is not. That's because the bass is designed to roll off so that the more movement of the speakers is limited. So what AccuBase is designed to do is you find that spot where it rolls off. You dial in AccuBase. Now there's a trick. You actually turn them both up and move backwards when you're setting them up. And if you move forward once, you have to wait 10 seconds before you can test it again, because every time you roll back, it's fine. Back, 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 turns on. But if you go this way, it's 10 seconds. You have to wait 10 seconds. Okay, regardless of that, it's a pain to set up, we know that. But it's designed to fix that. So what's going to happen is now the sound will travel like this. It'll do this, and then come back in line and roll back up with this. So you get nice linear subwoofer volume control. Now, if your car doesn't have any bass roll-off in it, which not all cars do, you can use AccuBase as a bass boost. So if your amplifier doesn't have a bass boost circuit in it, you're one of those guys that like bass boosts, like Punch has the Punch EQ. A lot of the amplifiers have a 12 dB sub boost or pick a frequency, pick a boost. If your amp has one of those, just turn AccuBase all the way down or use the flat output. But that's what it's designed for. Two totally different animals. Totally different animals.
All right. Any suggestion for a 2016 Dodge Ram for door speakers?
2016 Dodge Ram is going to have a 6x9 in it. Now the nice thing, this makes me happy because all these manufacturers, every truck on the road right now that is current model has a 6x9 in the door. It's phenomenal. Yes! That's not to say you can't put a 6.5 in it. So for example, if you want a really nice set of, let's say, K2s or some Morels, hybrids or something like that, you could put a 6.5 in there, no problem. However, you need one of those big high-end speakers to get that nice strong mid-bass that a 6x9, what's up Jason, would normally give you. So what that means is you could buy a 6x9, let's say you can get into, let's say an Alpine S-type, Focal integration, which is going to be a little less priced 6x9 and get that nice mid-bass out of it that the factory's giving you, but sound a lot cleaner and not be muddy. Now on the upward side of that, you can get into the Alpine X-type 6x9, put a little power to it, and those things will really dance. It's a high-res audio speaker, so you can, it's really nice, very musical sound. It's a component, so you have a mid-bass and a tweeter that will go up in the dash. And so does the S-type, so does the Focal integration. Now, I will tell you, if you go into Crutchfield and start looking at 6x9s, what they're going to tell you is nothing's going to fit. Okay? Just like you can't put a double din in a GM if you go to Crutchfield either, so take it with a grain of salt. Crutchfield isn't always right. Just saying.
All right.
Insurance companies.
Actually, Tim say, hey guys, I know you guys don't do a lot of fab work, but some to go online and check out the Maslov CNC router. It's about like $500.
Okay, we'll do.
Thank you. Let's see, I have a question for the pack kit.
Yes.
For 2010 to 2015 Camaro.
Yeah.
Can you add the Maestro? And I have the have the DDX 9905S, and I was wondering if the Maestro could be added to show the car information on the screen.
No, and actually Maestro is coming out with their Camaro kit here in the next couple months. It's not going to have the knobs. It's going to have, it's going to move the radio up higher in the dash. It's going to put the switches across the top. It's, okay, if you were to, if the pack kit did not exist, and the only thing that exists was Scosche and Metric kit, the iDataLink kit would kick ass. Like, you'd be like, oh my god, that is an amazing looking kit. That looks so good. But because the pack kit exists, it changes all that. Because you have those knobs, and those knobs look factory, and we all like knobs, right?
Yep.
We all like this, all right? So, but no, you aren't going to, because I asked that same question when we had a meeting with iData a couple weeks back, and they were like, hey, we're coming out with a kit. No, so they don't make that. Your volume's up on your phone.
Yeah.
As far as what PAC is going to be showing at Knowledge Fest, they're going to be talking about probably Amp Pro. I mean, they have the new GM Amp Pro that just came out, so that's more than likely what they're going to talk about at Knowledge Fest, furthering that conversation and trying to get people on board with the Amp Pro, because a lot of people still don't understand Amp Pro.
All right.
But who knows? We'll be there, though, and we're going to be broadcasting live Saturday from their booth at 3 o'clock. We're going to have a live show, so it ought to be fun. We'll talk more about it as we get close. Okay.
All right. Matt say, I want to use...
You can't bypass the W4400 NEX.
No.
Unless you leave the GPS antenna and the VSS wire disconnected, it will work, and you do the standard bypass. As soon as you hook up either one of those, see you later, bye. If you've hooked up either one of those and then try to do a bypass, you have to restore the radio back to factory, after you've disconnected those. So it's just, you have to basically turn it into a 4400 or 4200.
4200, yeah.
It's the only way to work.
Okay, I want to use the key amp that you use in the video.
Okay.
Will work on my 2018 F-150 with Focal IS in the doors.
Yeah. Yeah, it will. I would recommend getting a T-harness for that car. Because you can get the same T-harness that we used in Haley's car. It'll be the same T-harness for that. If you've got as long as you don't have the Bang & Olufsen system, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. That'll work good.
So that's little. All right. Gentlemen, trade in my car and I have to give my front components. I have the R150.2 Prime to power a new set of any recommendations under $250.
For speakers? For what?
For components.
Set of components under $250.
Yeah. Well,
Kenwood makes the Exelons, which are really nice. We have the entry-level the entry-level Morels that we were talking about on the Morel show the other day. Those are probably going to come in there. Pioneer makes the TSDs. Rockford makes the Prime. I check out those Morels, though, that we talked about. The entry-level Morels are probably going to come in right around that price somewhere, and you'll be killing it with those. Okay.
Yeah. What's the best way to add the second front camera input and the Halo 9?
Buy the Alpine camera expansion module. So Alpine makes a camera expansion module for their head units so that you can get multiple cameras into them. It expands it out to 3 cameras so that you can do front, passenger mirror, and rear is the idea, or any combination of 2 in the rear, 1 in the front, whatever you want to do. But they make a $99 expansion module. Plus, you also have to get these stupid little adapters for them to go to cameras, which are like another $15 a piece. So, yeah, you do the math. It sucks.
All right.
Okay.
I love the content. I'm having an issue with the install. I have a Kenwood DNX 574S, the Pack Pro 4, and an AXMA-Z cam to retain the backup camera.
Okay.
That's a Mazda 2014 CX-5.
Yeah.
Can you explain the wiring harness for dust products?
Not in this show in a timely manner. It's a pack piece?
Yeah, he has a Pack Pro, and I'm guessing the extension for the backup camera, the retention for the backup camera, the access.
Yeah. I'd have to look at those. Let me see what I can come up with. Maybe give us a call on that one. We might be able to help you out with that. Okay, what else you got?
Morel versus Focal speakers. Who wins?
For me personally, it's probably going to be Morel because I'm a Morel fan. I have Morels. I've listened to Morels. I own Morels in my house. I like the way Morel sounds. But I'm a diehard. Here's the thing. You can like more than one thing. Like you can like pears and apples, okay, and oranges. I mean, you can like both apples and oranges. I had an apple and an orange today and a pear. So to say that, oh man, no, I can only like these is no. I have prime example. I have in my headphone artillery that I'm building. I have Fostex, I have Monoprice Monoliths, I have Sennheisers, I have a pair of Grottos, and I love them all. Like I love them all, and they all do different things, and they're great for it. So. And that's the problem. That is one of the reasons why putting a stereo in my car is so hard, because I like so many things that are, it's like, oh my, I love the Focal K2s. I love them. I love them with oh my gosh, they're amazing. And I love the Morels. So it's like, that is my cake and eating it too. It's like having cake and pie. What do I choose? Oh my gosh, they're both sugary yumness. I'm going to go for a run. Okay.
All right. Hey, Dean, if you build an system for your car, will you use an amp with built-in DSP or a separate DSP and amps?
Okay. Personally, I would like to use an amp with a DSP built into it. But I'm not going to do that. And for the reason why is not so much what you would think. It's so that I can put many different DSPs in. Just like we build the car lab in Fernando's car, we're basically going to do the same thing in my car. A little different, but one of the things we want to change in and out is DSPs, because it's going to be a full active system. So we want to be able to pull in and out DSPs. When we got the Alpine DSP and we want to play with that. If we have a bit whatever Audison DSP, we want to play with that. So, but I love selling and installing the amps like the Audio Control D4800. It's a freaking amazing amplifier with that. It's the value is retarded. It's exceptional. Pick whatever expletive, funny word you want to throw in there. It's a great value and it's an awesome amplifier. I like that. Yeah, I mean, you can't beat it. Okay, I don't know if that answered it, but yeah, we'll go with that.
All right. When you're using the pack C2A-HY OEM for an aftermarket amp on the 2016 Chrysler with the factory knob,
right?
Will you connect an amp? An app? I'm kind of...
Okay, using... Okay.
Yep.
Well, I mean, aftermarket amps, and it's... I don't think I get the question.
Yeah, me too.
With factory nav, will Uconnect? Oh, will Uconnect and nav?
Yeah.
So Uconnect's not going to work.
No,
Uconnect is gone.
No.
So yeah, the Uconnect will not integrate with the aftermarket radio with the pack, especially that pack harness. If that's the question, no. Hey, from London, what's going on? On the Forester, Subaru Forester, trying to run through the boot for new wire, that is going to be exceptionally hard. Most newer cars, we're not running through the boot because it's become next to impossible to do it. What we like to do is we like to grab the wire in the kick. So the speaker wire is going to be coming into the kick. We'll cut it there. We'll solder in our wires. And then we'll just use the existing wiring to go into the door. That way you're minimizing your amount of BS. Now, if you want to, on some of the cars we found is that the wire goes through the door, then it goes up the door, it goes around the door, it comes over here, it does this, it goes, and then it's over there, and then it attaches to the speaker. So in some of the cars we found, what we'll do is we'll cut it in the kick, we'll solder our wires there, and then when the wire comes into the car at the bend, instead of it doing all this, we'll cut it there, solder our wires in there, so that we've minimized, so we only have this much of actual small wire. It works fine.
All right. See,
I remember Storm Vegas Strokers. This guy.
Alpine DV150 say, I don't see you guys fishing new wires through the factory often.
What are we talking about?
In your videos.
Fishing new wires through where?
Fish new wires through factory often in your videos. Are the factory wires sufficient enough below 100 watts RMS?
Yeah, they are. Right, so I mean, most 4-channel amplifiers are between 70 to 100 watts.
Yeah.
They're actively crossed over, limited frequency response. Most cars are going to have anywhere between 18 to 16 gauge speaker wire. That's adequate enough to do that. So yeah, no, there's no reason to run. There again though, if you're one of those guys, there's no reason not to run new wire, but we've seen enough people try to run wire because they can't figure out how to get the existing wire to work, that they do a bad job on it or they use crappy wire. So I can't tell you how many cars we've gotten in here and ripped out some like CCA 12 gauge that is like twisted and taped and run through the door boot, and it's like, why did you do this? Well, someone said I needed new wires. It's like, no, you were fine. You just went crazy. Yeah.
All right, guys, I love the installs. I appreciate your work. And what do you do? What I was wondering, why are you guys using mini amplifiers when you can use a matched PP86 DSP or Helix V8 DSP channel?
Why do we use mini amps?
Why do we use mini amplifiers when you can use that?
Well, for one, we're not a Helix dealer. So that's probably the big thing in that. You know, each installation, each car, we don't have.
We don't decide.
If someone comes in and says, "Hey, can I talk to Dean because I'd like him to design me a system?" I'll go over there. I'll talk to you. We'll figure things out. We'll go over things, and we'll figure out what you want to do. We'll come up with a game plan. We'll come up with a budget. It's a whole process of this, and sometimes you're ready for this, and sometimes you're ready for this, and we hit you with this, and we got to go like this. So there's a whole thing that goes into designing a system that fits your expectation, your budget, your listening habits, your space requirements. It's not, Now, a lot of the times people come in and they shop with their wallet, meaning they shop with whatever budget they have, and they end up with what they end up with because they're like, give me a number. I need to hear $1,000. I need to hear $1,000. And you say, how about $995? And they're like, I'll take it. They don't even know what they got. half the time they don't even know what they got. They know they got a sub, they know they got something to power it, they got a radio that will play CDs or something like that, and they're fine, they're cool, that's what they wanted. You know, they were like, I just want to improve the sound. For me, no, I'm you know, when I'm talking to you, you're sit down.
Yeah.
It's going to take a minute because I want to know exactly, because I always tell people, because they'll apologize, I don't mean to ask all these questions. Look, you can ask me a million questions before I turn a screw in your car. The moment I'm turning a screw in your car, though, you better not have another question for me, because we're done. We're past that point. As soon as we start on your car, there's no more questions to be asked, okay? Because we're past that point. We've already decided everything we're going to do. That's it. So ask away. Ask everything. I encourage it. I always say, okay, can you think of anything else? If you think of anything else, call me. You know, up until the minute I take the car apart, you know, and we're to that point, so it's like, we're starting, I'll go, think of anything else? You good? All right, we're going. Here we go. Cutting you open, taking your heart out.
Done.
So, yeah.
All
Okay.
right. I have a pack RP5 GM51. Someone told me that I might have faulty because
Germany in the house.
because I'm starting to get noise coming out from my stereo when it's on, but when it's off, it's not there.
So what did they tell him it was?
I have an RP5 GM51. Someone told me that I might be
RP5
faulty. Yeah.
GM51.
51.
Bose. GM51 though.
Yeah.
It's got Bose?
I'm assuming.
Huh.
Someone told me that I may be
Well, yeah, but
faulty because I'm starting to get noise.
yeah, that's a total possibility. If you're using an RP5, so the RP5 has, whether it's standard or Bose, it has two inputs, so there's no place for high level to low level. You wouldn't need one on that particular model. It's a GM. I own a GM, so I can tell you they don't last forever. Poor ground is naturally the culprit. But unfortunately, when you're talking with GM Bose, poor ground is usually not it. Usually it's some form of an input problem with the amplifier. Because it is a factory amplifier, it's got an adequate ground. If you're grounded well in the harness, your harness is soldered together or crimped or whatever it is, you got a nice tight ground, more than likely it could be the amplifier's getting a little long in the tooth or wear and tear. But that's why we have all the cool aftermarket stuff that you can upgrade it to.
All right. Do you actually recommend the dash cam that integrates with the DDX9905S?
What? Go ahead, answer that one.
Yes. Yeah, I like it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's nice.
I wasn't listening.
Yeah.
Is there a trick? Oh, damn, it went away.
Okay, hang on.
Is it worth upgrading from a 60 watt per channel to a 100 watt per channel amp-wise? Depending on the amp, yes. There again, it depends on the amp. So, for example, if you're looking at like, let's use Alpine for example, because they make an amplifier that's 60 watts by 4, and they make a amplifier that's 110 watts by 4. If you go from their entry-level MRH series amplifier up to their PDX amplifier, huge difference. Not just in power, but in quality. Now, if you're talking quality for quality, let's say Scar makes the RP 75 by 4 and they make an RP 150 by 4. It's basically double the power. Yeah, you're going to notice a difference there too because it's double the power. So, yeah, I would say yes, most of the time too, because if you're going from a 60 watt amp to a 100 watt amp, you're going to get double the power almost, but you're going to a higher quality amplifier most of the time.
Alright, hey guys, my stock amp on the Dodge Ram Distor highs a volume 32 and the bass at 17 at 15 dB. The bass distorts at 32.
Yes.
How should I tune the new bass amp?
Okay, so anytime you're tuning, regardless of whatever you're doing, you always tune to the lowest common denominator, okay? So wherever the first thing distorts, that's what you tune to. Okay, so whether the new amp, the old amp, the existing amps, you always tune to what distorts first, okay? And this is why I don't like using deck power for anything, because let's say a guy goes, oh, I'm going to run my tweeters off the deck power and everything else is going to have amplifiers. Why would you do that? Your deck is going to distort at 28. Your preamp section is going to distort at 38. So now you have to turn the gains up on the amplifier so that at 28 is your max volume. So you have to increase the sensitivity of the amplifier, which does a couple things. For one, it's the opportunity to input more noise into the amplifier, and two, if your friends are in the car and they decide they want to go louder than 28, they blow everything up. But with that being said, you always tune to the lowest common denominator. So whatever distorts first, that's as loud as it's going to go, and you set everything else accordingly.
All right, question. Do you need to run 12-gauge speaker wire to the components on the Tacoma, or can you use the stock wire for a 250 watts fuzzgate? T16 604 power to my Morel Ultra components.
Yeah.
I
would go bigger wire.
Yeah.
If we're doing a T604, I would go bigger wire.
Yeah,
now, so the Toyota has factory 12-gauge wire in some cases. Unfortunately, it's aluminum. Mm-hmm. Toyota's using aluminum in some of the jumpers in their cars now for the speakers, so it's not actually 12-gauge. You can't solder into it because it's aluminum. So, if you're going with that big amp, I would run to termination points from the amp to wherever you can get to. So like if you're going to do a set of components or whatever, I go from, if you're going from the amp to the crossover, from the crossover to speakers, like we just talked about, we were talking about the kick panel, grabbing wire there. If it's a tweeter, just run a wire up to it. That's what we do a lot of the times. Unhook dimmer and car started, go figure.
What?
The dimmer was a data wire. Jethro.
Awesome.
The dimmer was a data wire. That makes sense.
All right.
It was probably the orange wire, not the orange-white wire. Yeah, right?
Yeah.
That was an Alpine. Who knows?
Oh, that's a data wire. Okay. Evening, gentlemen. Awesome show. Question on this. I have a 9904S and the X700.5 amp.
Okay.
183 CS at the rear and 174S up front. I have unbearable engine noise coming from the speakers.
Unbearable.
Yeah.
Engine noise coming from the speakers.
Yeah.
Okay.
That I can get rid of.
Okay, so we got, is it this one?
Is it this one? Yeah.
Yeah, so he's got all amazing equipment.
Yeah.
Wow.
700.5, 185 CX in the front.
What kind of car is it? So, engine noise is a fickle pickle, all right? And there could be a lot of things that cause engine noise, okay? So we'll go over a list of things that can cause engine noise, and then maybe one of those is something you haven't thought of. It would be the easiest way to think about it. First and foremost, bad ground. Bad ground is universal. Now, it doesn't necessarily have to be the ground at the amplifier. It can be ground at the radio, meaning depending on the car, not all cars have grounds in the harness. The plug you plug in might have a ground, but on the opposite side, there might not be a ground. Or it might be a crappy ground. Some Nissans and Toyotas, they have grounds there, but they don't go to anything. So you actually have to run a ground to a piece of metal in the car. What happens is when they design those metal brackets and they screw them into metal brackets, the radio grounds that way. You're going in with plastic brackets, so you lose that ground. There's a ground point there. Secondly, pop the hood to see what your ground looks like there. A lot of the times manufacturers on older vehicles will use small 10-gauge grounds that jump over to the frame and then run a big 4-gauge down to the motor. Replacing that little 10-gauge ground with a piece of 4-gauge, that can solve the issue too. Secondly, the ground at the amplifier, or third or whatever, the ground at the amplifier. A lot of people love to ground their amplifiers under seat bolts. Well, seat bolts usually aren't bolts. They're like rivets like we use when we screw speakers in that don't necessarily attach to the car. So, what did I say? Do you ever run a reference ground from the amp? Sometimes, yes. Not too much anymore though. But there again, everyone's, I scraped the paint away. It's still not a good ground. Always go find your own ground. Try to find a factory ground if you're afraid to drill a hole into something or whatever. That's cool. But don't use the seat rail or anything like that. Now, other things that can cause that, other than stereo. Believe it or not, sometimes the spark plug wires can cause engine noise just because they're old. I had a Mustang that we did years ago that the spark plug wires were just bleeding engine noise. It was great. Put new spark plug wires on, magically all went away. Yeah. It was crazy. Sometimes it's just as simple as where you mounted the amplifier. You mounted the amplifier, let's say, over a fuel pump. Guess what? Pump's spinning. Spinning creates noise. Amplifier, get noise. Yes. It can be where you ran your signal wire. Sometimes, the RCAs and the power wire get a little too close. Believe it or not, that's not all that common anymore. Most amplifiers have enough grounding in them to where they don't have that. The other thing too is you could just have one bad RCA or a bad diode in the alternator. Thank you, Jason. Same basic idea. It could be something other than that. It could be a bad RCA. Now RCAs are twisted, and all it takes is one little thread to cut through, and that gives you a bad RCA and you get engine noise. The other thing too is could be the actual speaker. A speaker could have a short in it somewhere. A lot of times speakers, James at Cardio Etc., back when he was doing it, he had a subwoofer that the basket was shorted to the voice coil. You could play it all day long on the bench, but as soon as you screwed it into the car, it blew up the amplifier because it shorted the whole system out because it was made to be screwed into wood, and I guess Rockford goofed that one up, and it just, so you can get noise that way. The easiest thing to do anytime you have noise, radio, amplifier, RCA that you can physically see draped across a car, plugged into the amplifier, speakers sitting next to it. Take everything out of the equation that you can take out of the equation. Get as basic as you can, okay? That's how you start troubleshooting engine noise. It sucks.
All right.
Because if you did an awesome install, now you have to tear it all back apart. Okay.
All right. The best digital signal processor for a 2018 Elantra.
Probably going to be a DM810 because you're going to need a lot of channels for that.
A lot of channels.
Yeah, probably check out the DM18.
Well, we don't know if it has the premium sound system.
We don't, but there again, you know, if
the one you can afford.
If we're throwing, okay. So since you mentioned DSPs, which means integration, next week we have a show on Wednesday. We're doing another Wednesday show. Unfortunately for you guys, it's going to be on Facebook, but it will be rebroadcast naturally on YouTube. Sorry. This company right here, WaveTech. You can find them at wavetech-usa.com. They are makers of high-level to low-level adapters and high-level to low-level adapters with small DSPs. They're line drivers, fun stuff like that. We're going to have them in on Wednesday, as we know right now, and we're going to take a look at their products. We're going to talk to these guys. We're currently not a dealer with them, but Mike Sajecki, one of our reps, Bill's boss, if you guys have caught the show, they are coming into town, and he was like, hey, man, can we bring these guys in and do a show? And we're like, heck yes, of course. I love talking to guys, and I especially love talking to guys about product that I know nothing about, because then I get to learn a whole bunch of stuff about product that I don't know anything about. I've looked at their product, it looks cool. So Wednesday night, as of right now, they're going to be here. We're going to do a live show. So if you can't catch the live show on Facebook, I totally understand. I apologize. We'll rebroadcast it again on Thursday so you can check it out. If you have any questions about that, though, by all means, send us an email. We'll check them out and we'll try to answer it for you about the product, or it'll be something we can bring up and talk to them about if you guys have ever used the product, heard of the product, or whatever. Okay.
All right. Hey, dude. I know Morel have more mellow high.
Yeah.
But can you describe the rest of the sound, like mid-bass, etc.? It's worth upgrade from 60 watts to 100 watts per channel.
Yeah, I covered the 60 to 100 watts thing, hammered that in. So Morel, okay, so because Morel is inefficient, the more power you give it, the better it sounds. Mid-bass is mid-bass. I mean, let's be honest. And tweeter is tweeter, and tick is tick, and all that. You know, if you lined up 12 pairs of 6.5s on the counter and you played each one of them at the same amount of power, and there was no EQ, everything was playing flat, okay? Same song, no EQ. Each speaker would sound totally different. Some would be bright, some would be mellow, some would sound like they're talking to you like this, some would sound like they're, hey, how you doing? So each speaker has different characteristics. I describe the Morel as slow only because it's not a, if you've ever heard of a focal would be fast, okay? It's right in your face, it's just punching in the face, okay? And a lot of the times that's describing the tweeter, because that's what most people are like experiencing. Mid-bass isn't something that people like it a lot, but they don't really, there's like, you know, you might describe it as warmth or deep, which are all things that like a focal mid-bass and a Morel mid-bass are gonna do. The difference is the type of music you're listening to, where there again, I guess the easiest way to describe Morel is if you like instruments, okay? And that's not to say focal can't play instruments. They do an excellent job of playing instruments. But Morel, to me, has a little bit more natural sound to it, okay? It sounds like the actual instrument. There again, as we all know, one of my favorite speakers, K2s. Love the K2s. They do an amazing job. I was just having a conversation, like I said, with another customer, and he had K2s, and he was like, and I said, it's really hard to explain to somebody what a K2 sounds like until you've actually heard a K2, and you're like, oh my God. Morel is just one of those weird speakers that it's hard to explain to someone using terms like we are unless you've heard one. And then you go, oh, I get what he means. You'll never be disappointed with either one of those speakers, okay? Unless you just buy the entry-level ones for like, $100. Then you might be, but no. You're not going to be like, oh, I made a bad choice. You won't. It won't happen.
All right. Marshall, definitely please call Paul so you can schedule an appointment and you can get here.
7-inch Kenwoods are awesome. 7-inch Kenwoods are awesome. We call those the mid-bass monsters. You can get either one. They make 4 different versions of it. They make coaxial and a component, high-end and not so high-end. They're both Exelon, so one's an XR, one's just a regular Exelon. Lots of mid-bass. It's a 7-inch driver, so anytime, and for the price. You get a lot of mid-bass for the price.
So Marshall, before you come, like I said, make sure you call Paul and go to the details about dash kit harness and what you need for your car, and then you guys can go from there. All right, another time today.
Dave, just reading this conversation, he's writing to D Nash. K2s versus Hertz Milli 3-way, which is better for sound quality? Ooh, there again, I feel like both those are going to give you an amazing sound quality in their own right. And that kind of goes back to what we were talking about. But, and it's like, are you a Coke or Pepsi guy? If you like Coke, you're going to drink Coke. Pepsi sucks. If you're Pepsi, you're going to drink... Okay, I'm not that guy, okay? I drink water. Yeah. But I like all different things. As I was using my headphone analogy, okay, each one does a different thing, and there's no wrong thing. The problem is they're both expensive, and we have to pick just one, which sucks, because, trust me, if I could have a set of K2s, a set of Milli 3-ways, and a set of Morels, all in one room or all in one car and just A/B between the two, I would do that constantly. It's like having a different EQ setting because they all sound amazing in their own right. And it's like, and I know it's like, you just want me to come out and say K2s. Okay, I'll say K2s because I love K2s.
That will leave us. No more ginger ale.
No, no. I mean, it's got to be a real special day to get like a root beer or ginger ale. But I had ginger ale on the... I had ginger ale on the airplane. I love drinking ginger ale on an airplane when we fly to Dallas because it's calming. The ginger makes your stomach, and if I got to sit somewhere for 5 hours, Dean needs to have a calm stomach. Okay. Otherwise, everyone on the plane's going...
So you have to say like...
Who farted? Oh, yeah. Okay. You'll find out. It's a lot of fun.
Oh, no.
Okay. Go on.
What's up, guys? What is the type of foam that you guys using on the speaker insoles now?
Which foam? Okay, so there's a couple different foams we use.
Yes.
So depending on what we're doing. Okay, so if we're talking about just the foam that we put on the back side of the speaker, that's this stuff here. You can get it at dnftooldrower.com. That's this. Now, obviously, we have the fast rings, which are right here. And then we have this super thick foam that we used on Haley's car. If you guys saw that video and you're like,
probably
what is that?
Yeah.
So this is a Tessa foam. It's made by Tessa, the same people that make the tape. And I have yet to figure out where the heck Kenwood gets this. When you buy a set of those mid-bass monsters that we just talked about, the 7-inch Kenwoods, it comes with this foam. It comes with 4 pieces of this foam. You only have 2 speakers. So what we end up with is this right here. So a lot of the times, if we just need some foam, we'll go ahead, grab these, and we'll put this on.
Well, sometimes the speakers come with this foam, but we actually use
fast rings.
The fast rings.
Because they want the acoustic plug and the back baffle.
The whole thing.
So we end up with some of this stuff laying around. I have yet to figure out, if you've ever been on Tessa's webpage, it's useless. So, but that's what this is. And it's basically just open cell, 1-inch, 1/4-inch thick. If you can find it though, let me know.
Oh yeah, please. All right, my radio won't work on, my radio don't power on.
You. How you trim the fast rings for correct depth?
You actually have to. The first thing you do is you put it in, roll the window down and see where the window is actually hitting the foam, then you can cut it. Done.
And then as far as the front basket,
Yeah.
you have to do where you're laying on your back like this, and you're looking up as you're putting the door panel on, and you're pushing it.
If you actually.
Now, most of the time, the foam will crush in and not affect the speaker, but sometimes you do have to cut it off. You know, an extra quarter of an inch, an extra half inch.
Yeah.
But that's what it's designed to do. It's actually designed to be cut. So, simple razor blade, cut that stuff.
Boom. My one power on, as well as my amplifier. I have a Pioneer Ab Radio 4 and a JBL amp. Where do I start? I have a Toyota Camry 2007.
Where do you start?
First, if you have a multimeter, check power, ground on the radio, check ground on the amplifier remote,
Check the fuse.
check the fuse.
Check power before and after the fuse.
Yeah.
So, for those of you guys that follow me on Instagram at 5-star Dean, or Dean, what is it?
Dean, 5-star.
Dean
5-star Dean.
5-star Dean on Instagram.
Oh, God, I know you.
I don't. Okay, you
sure.
saw yesterday that I had a death in the family.
Yeah. Look at that. Then you
My
just broke
brand
it more.
new Milwaukee.
He was crying yesterday.
My brand new Milwaukee soldering iron took a hit for the worst. So it was standing up like this, standing up, and I had to close a door on a car, and it was at the perfect height for the door on the car, and it just went snap. And I was like, just as Paul was walking
Sad.
over here going, oh,
yeah.
bro, man, what happened? I was like, I'm going to kill you. Just walk away. Just walk away. So, yeah. So now I have some parts. Yay.
All right, so it's better to brick amp or go to a traditional 4-channel amp. For example, KTP 44.5A or a standard 4-channel amp. What do you like?
Okay, so there's advantages and disadvantages of both. If all you're looking for is to increase the sound on some, let's say, reasonably priced speakers, you know, like you bought some sub $100 speakers and they're just not getting it to you, the volume is good, but the clarity at the higher volumes, it kind of falls apart. The KTP 455U.
What's that from Australia?
The Key, Kenwood makes one. All those amplifiers are great little amplifiers to get you that clearness all the way through on your volume. So it's like, I like the volume it's at, but everything is just breaking apart. Well, those will fix that, and you'll be happy. And they're limited installation. Like if you saw the Key amp install, it was a 10 gauge, or that might have been a 12 gauge. Yeah, it's a 12 gauge. So if you have the A is just designed to be plug and play. Good. Gotta go, Jets. Thanks, Jason.
Bye, Jason.
Time to catch a plane to Cali. Hey, have a great vacation, man.
Nice.
Definitely.
Have a nice trip.
Enjoy California. I will be jealous. Because he's going to all the places. Anyways, so those are really nice amplifiers. They're simple installs. You can hide them in the dash. They're really cool. It makes life easy. However, there is an advantage to going with a full-size, bigger 4-channel amplifier. It can obviously be bigger than 45 watts. You can get into 100, 70, something like that. If you're doing components, you know, we have a big passive crossover. That's definitely an advantage because it can power through that passive crossover a heck of a lot better than those little micro amplifiers can do. But it's going to take up space, and you're going to have to run a big power wire, and you're going to have to do all that fun stuff, you know, RCAs and all that. And if that's not what you're down for, then obviously the smaller amps are the way to go. Hope that helps.
Yeah.
Congrats on 65K. Thank you. It's been a lot of fun.
Thank you. Let's see.
I had a question about 6-channel versus 4 and 2-channel. Ooh. So here's my thought on all these questions like this. DSP built into the amplifier, multi-channel amplifiers. I'm older, and we used to have TV VCR combos. Okay, so that scared me because, you know, the VCR would die or the TV would die. You'd add up with one or the other, and whatever broke, you'd have sitting next to it. So if your TV died, you'd have a TV and this little cube sitting next to it. If the VCR died, you'd have the TV with the VCR sitting next to it, and you'd be like, hey, rocking the world. And for me, buying combinations like that always bugged me. It was like, no, I'll have this, I'll have that. However, fast forward to today. The number one selling amplifier we put in is a 5-channel. By whatever brand, it doesn't matter. We put in more 5-channel amplifiers than just about every amplifier combined. So if you take 4 channels, mono blocks, we're still doing more 5 channels. Now, the advantage of a 4-channel and let's say a monoblock versus a 5-channel amplifier is power. Okay. Last week when we had the VW in here, which reminds me, where's the VW?
Yeah, I have.
Okay. Still here.
Oh my God! Where is it?
I was like, wait a minute. They didn't pick it up.
Noticed.
Yeah. Okay. God. Anyways, it's a long story. It's nothing. Anyways. What happened with that car and why he got the system he got was because originally it was going to be just a 5-channel amplifier install, but the 5-channel amplifier didn't have enough power to go with the sub he wanted. He wanted to go with a Scar VVX. VVX needs 500 to 700 watts of power. Well, the little tiny amplifier Paul originally set him up with wasn't going to be enough to do that. So naturally I stepped in and I was like, wait a minute, what are we trying to do here? So we needed a bigger amplifier. So Scar makes an 800 watt amp, perfect to power that subwoofer. So that means now we can power the sub. So for that we matched it up with a 75x4. Great combination. However, if he was just going to do something like a Comp RT, a Rockford P2, or any sub-price, medium grade, $120 subwoofer, or $300 to 500 watt subwoofer, that amp would have been just fine. It wasn't. That's where you run into the gray area, regardless of whether it's a 6-channel or a 2-4. Now, what you can do with a 6-channel, the whole idea behind a 6-channel was because active has become a popular thing to do again, meaning I want to put a 3-way set of components in my car. I want to do tweeter, mid bass. Well, you need a 6-channel amp to do that. A 5-channel amp isn't going to help. Or I want to go active on my front, component or regular coaxial in the rear, and then a sub amp. So you can go tweeter, mid, rear, sub amp. So there's a lot of reasons why these exist now. And that's it, really. I mean, is there any advantage of a 6-channel over a 5-channel? Not really. And in some cases, it's not really the way to go. Like a 6-channel, if you have to bridge channels 5 and 6, a lot of times you're only getting 300 to 400 watts, whereas some of these 5-channels now have 550 for the sub-channel. So it's something to think about. It really just depends on what you're trying to do.
All right. How about 100% sound deadening covering my doors?
100% sound deadening.
Yeah,
okay.
But still getting road noise. Will treating the floors make significant difference in the Kia Optima with panoramic roof?
Ooh, gosh. Ooh, I bet you the sound's all coming from the roof. So, a lot of the time, okay, so here's something to think about. Everyone talks about sound deadening the doors, and I can't tell you how many pictures of sound deadened doors I've seen. We do it all the time. You have, oh, look at my door, it's all sound deadened. Did you deaden the sound? Did you deaden the panel itself, the door panel, the plastic thing you took off? Did you put any deadening on that? Okay, Stinger makes the Ultra, which is butyl. Ultimate. I'm sorry. Thank you. They make the Ultimate, which has butyl, it has metal, and it has foam. We do it on the rear decks a lot of the times. Okay, we like to put that on the inside of a door panel. If someone is getting the full crazy, like I got deep pockets, man. Okay, and they want full treatment, like go crazy. We're gonna deaden that whole inside of the plastic door panel and the door itself, because it's an open chamber. It's going to create noise. Now, you have a giant panoramic roof. It's glass. It's single pane. You're going to have noise.
I mean,
it's just it. I mean, you could do the floor, but on top of that floor already is already jute, foam, and carpet. What is an 1/8-inch thick piece of goo going to do? Just a thought. Okay.
All right. I don't know if you answered this one.
Probably not.
Yet. How do you deal with the bass roll-off in 2015 Chevy Traverse? Haven't replaced radio yet, but I want to run the Kicker Key amp with a set of components, front, coaxials, and the doors.
There's really going to be... Okay, so if you're going to do that, you could go with an LC2i. You could do the Kicker Key on all 4, and then you can do the LC2i for the subwoofer, and that will get you the that'll get you the fix for the bass roll-off. At Dean, look at the Iasca test disc. Okay.
Okay.
I haven't seen one of those in years.
Okay. Okay. I don't know if you answered that one too. Hello, Dean. Love from South Africa, and I would like to know if you pack offer a steering wheel interface for a kit for a 2009 Land Rover Discovery 3.
Probably not.
It has the Harman Kardon system.
That's probably going to be a Metra one for sure. Sorry.
Metra?
Definitely want to try Metra.
Or
Access.
Yeah.
Okay, who has a good but cheap amp wiring kit? Check out Stinger. Stinger makes a Stinger Select kits. They come. This is the branding here. These are the RCA's that come in it. But this is the branding here. It says Stinger Select. You can get. They make 3 kits. They make a CCA, which you don't want. They make a hybrid, which is like a 60-40 split, which is CCA copper. There again, not anything you want. But then they make a 100% copper kit. So anytime you see us use the blue wire, that's what we're using. They make a nice, reasonably priced, 100% copper kit.
All right, Dean. What do I keep blowing my Orion HCCA subwoofer? I have the Rockford Fosgate 2500.
Oof.
It's alternator.
2,800 watts.
Yeah, and use
power.
the DD1 to set the gains.
So all right. Clearly the subwoofer can't handle the power you're putting at it. But the real question is why? Okay, so there's a lot of things that distort and a lot of things that can go wrong. And let's think about this. Let's talk about this for a minute. So we know where our radio clips. All right, so we got a radio. Let's say we put it in the dash and we put a DD1 or a meter or whatever. We figured out at 38 with the settings we have, we get distortion. So we're going to play it at 37. Now we go in our amplifier and we figure out at 37, we go to a -5 dB on a DD1 and we boom, or a scope or whatever, and we're like, bam, that's where this thing is ooh. Yeah, all right. Now we're plugging that into a speaker. The speaker is a moving thing that has limitations depending on the box, depending on the airspace, depending on the port. There's a lot of things that change the parameters of the speaker. And that's where the failure comes in. Because you've set everything else up perfect.
Yeah.
But depending on the box, you're changing the power handling. So it could have 4,000 watts of power handling sitting on a counter. Put it in that box, that power handling goes down to 1,000 watts. Or it goes up to 5,000 watts. Or it goes to 2,500 watts. So there's a lot of things that can change that parameter. Yes, it should be able to eat that amplifier all day long, but maybe not in that box. Maybe not with the wire you're in. So there's things to consider. A lot of times what I always suggest, anytime you have something random like that happens, is call the manufacturer. Talk to the manufacturer. The manufacturer, Orion in this case, should be able to help you figure out why their woofer keeps dying in that application. And if they can't, sell that woofer and buy somebody that can, because that's poor customer support. And they should be able to walk you through. They should be say, hey, our woofer should handle that. Let's talk about the box. Let's talk about the port. Let's talk about the speaker wire. You know, because you clearly have everything right up to that point. And there again, the box might be right, but something is going wrong there somewhere.
All right, on the GM Envoy, will you put component tweeters on the dash or in the boss location, or you cut the A-pillars? You know, the tweeter is right in the dash.
I like the dash.
Yeah.
I like the dash.
Why do you cut it?
I like the way they sound up in the dash, personally. I mean, I like this. I like the way this. A lot of people don't. Oh, it comes off the glass. It sounds nasty. Well, that's fine, but I personally like it there. You know, especially if I have a really nice big tweeter, like I say silk soft dome, but it can't be silk. It's fabric. I like a nice big fabric soft dome. Get them, Dean. Love the answer. Explanation. Okay. Yeah. I guarantee you Orion makes quality products. They do. I like the new stuff. I want that big amplifier, that big new Orion amp. That
Dean, did you get a replacement for the broken tool yet?
Yeah, no, we answered that. That's why I pulled all that out.
All right, some kid roll off into the Golf 2. They still have the Golf 2 factory running?
What's that?
The Golf.
The Golf,
2.
the car?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
With two 25s, I'm thinking hitting hard with only 300 watts. I was blasted. Okay, cool.
Okay. The little Golf. Didn't we work on one of those last
Golf?
year?
Yeah,
The little silver one that was so cool. It's like a 1980,
yeah, that was good.
83. Yeah, that was cool. I think a Tesla foam is from window mounting, right? Or Tesla through. Okay. Let me know. One more car lab. Christian, we just actually filmed a car lab today, so we'll see that next week. I have a Sony hedging it that sometimes loses memory. It takes The amp, it makes the amp pop and resets the factory settings. Upgrade. No dice. Still, any ideas? Wow. So, when a radio loses memory, that's a tough one. Okay, so there's two things that store memory in a radio: the yellow wire and the black wire, ground and constant 12 volts. If you lose one of those in an older radio, that's what loses the memory. The key is trying to figure out which one. Now, obviously, we can't see power, and unless we have a digital multimeter hooked up to it 24/7, we still don't know what's going on. But that's really what we need to do. We need to find some way to hook up a light to it, or a probe, or a test circuit, so that when we're starting the car, or just, usually it's through startup is where a lot of the bad things happen, to find out, is that losing power? Now, you could use a digital multimeter, or you could use a simple light, the light bulb, and connect it to power and ground. Don't leave it when you're walking away, though, because it will kill the battery. But see, start the car and see if it loses memory there. It could also be there's something wrong with the car's body control module, or the fuse. Sometimes we've ran into situations where the fuse, the little things that hold the fuse in the middle, they've expanded, and then the fuse wobbles around in there. So there's some weird things that you can check, but
Monterrey, Mexico.
Definitely need a digital multimeter to try to figure that out.
All right, hey guys, suggestion on the new head unit for 2015 Prius. It has to have the angle screen to deal with a crazy angle on the center console. Thanks. The F350 David.
Okay, so the only one that does negative angle is going to be the Kenwoods with the GPS. So you're looking at the 995.
What about the new one?
The 995. So the 995s, the top of the line Kenwoods always have negative tilt. So 994, 995, 993, those all will do, you have this, which it motorizes out. But if you need it to go in like this, so that, if you're sitting in the dash, it tilts this way so you can actually see the screen and not have, you need a Kenwood Exelon, the highest end one. Hey, from Australia. Hello from Monterey. Okay, Pioneer Radio, Bluetooth speakers.
Where can I find the track that says my voice should appear on the center channel on your dash?
Okay, so that track is from a Sheffield Labs CD. And if you go to D&F Tool Drawer and you go to the meters section, okay, we actually have 3 songs there that you can download, or tracks as it were. One of them is that one, the other one is Pink Noise, and the other one is Speaker Polarity Pop. So we've put those up there so that you guys can download them to your phones, to a thumb drive, to whatever you want, and you can have those cool tracks. But if you want the ultimate in tracks, the really nice thing is if you share an iTunes library with someone, buy the Sheffield Labs CD for like $10. There's like 150 tracks on it, and it's like beep, boop, beep, and then a lot of like weird stuff that like Pink Noise out of the left, Pink Noise out of the right. So there's a lot of strange tracks in there. But I remember when I bought it, my wife Sue went crazy. She was like, "What the heck did you buy? I can't even get to my stuff now," because it moved her stuff because she just uses Purchase as a playlist. And of course, the Sheffield Labs CD went in there, and it was like, she's like, "Oh my God, what did you buy? Can you delete it?" I was like, "No, I use it for work." What do you think about Polk Audio amps, Dean? We don't do them, but I will tell you, it's funny. Directed owns Polk. So Viper guys own Polk. That's one of the only car audio brands they still own, but they don't claim it, which is weird because they should. I feel that's one of those products that really should get a push. It used to be something, and it could be something again.
Hey guys, did you guys get any Morel subs?
No, we didn't buy the Morel subs yet.
Yet.
Paul has a really hard time with esoteric subwoofers. So, for example, we bought a bunch of Hertz subs when we got hot and heavy with Hertz, and I'm pretty sure we still have most of them here laying around somewhere in a stack, brand new in boxes, because he has a hard time selling those things. He just doesn't know how to sell them. He likes selling Punch, and he likes selling Kicker, and he likes selling Scars to the SPL guys, and he doesn't really deviate much unless it's like a $90 subwoofer, because like then he can sell you like an Alpine bassline or a S-type, or every now and then someone comes in and like, I have this. I go, oh, you need an Alpine R-type. Which someone asked on here earlier, what is the nicest sealed box sounding 10 or 12? Alpine R-Type sounds amazing in a sealed box. So if you were trying to find the best sounding sealed box subwoofer, I don't know if it's the best, but it's damn near close to being one of them. So if you need check out that.
Yes, Christian, I still have the AC amps, and I'm gonna put the other one.
We're actually, we just got a brand new. So for those of you guys who aren't familiar with what he keeps asking about the ACMs, it's not
audio control.
What is it? AMCs, American Movie Classics, or American Music Awards. It's this guy right here. These are the audio control AMC amplifiers. They make 3 of them, 2 of which are already in Fernando's car for the test lab. They're all 300 watts, and they're all variations of 300 watts. 1x300, 2x300, 4x300. We just got the 4x300. Thank you, Chris. He gave this to us when he was here the other day. So we could finish off the lab in Fernando's car. So we'll talk more about that in the video that's going to go up next week. But the nice thing too is they're all the same size. You can switch the panels. Okay.
All right, a good 6x9 for a door on a 2010 Dodge Ram.
That wasn't like the first question we had?
I don't remember.
I think that was the first question we had.
Well, he has a Pioneer or Kicker or Punch. Fitment issue. Thanks, buddy.
Okay, so
I would go with the Alpine.
The Alpine is probably going to fit the best. Right off the top of the head, the Alpine is definitely going to fit the best.
X-Type.
X-Type or S-Type, whichever your wallet will supply. The Alpine's probably going to fit the best. The Kicker, their components, if you're only going to do like 35, 40 watts, anything past that, no. Rockford, the mags are too big. Those are out of the question. That's, unless you're doing like the Prime, it's like, no. I have no idea how much the LC 12.6 is. I don't know. But you could call Paul. A while back you put a Pioneer 4200 for me and Alexis. Time to upgrade speakers. Okay, give us a call or stop back in and I will help you figure out how to spend your money. No problem.
Question related on set the power amplifier clipping. You have a video, no?
On what?
How to set the clipping on the power amplifiers.
The power amplifiers?
Yeah. The power amplifiers.
We don't really know because we don't do too many of those. But the Punch has the thing. But the power you have to use a DD1.
Yeah, correct.
The Punch we do all the time. The power we don't sell those all that often. The little Punches, the little powers, we set those because the little powers have the DD1 built into it like the Punch does. But the higher end, bigger, full-size powers don't have that circuit yet. So you'd have to do it, old school with the DD1 or just, guess. Does anyone make a good under-seat sub? It depends.
I know who make
what you want. If you're talking about one of those cool little plastic boxes that are amplifiers and no, they all suck. However, depending on the seat, you may be able to fit an 8 or like a Scardio 6.5 or something like that underneath there. But none of them are just gonna be like, oh, I have a landmine underneath my seat. Okay. Got anything real quick? Because it's been an hour.
It's been an hour,
Okay, good. We're going to call it at that. Okay, guys, we're going to end the show. It's an hour. We got to get going. We have the new camera. Hope it looks better today. Let us know what you think. So, Monday, Facebook Live, Dean and Fernando. We're going to be there. We're going to be having fun. It's going to be normal week so far. Wednesday, we're going to be doing a second one with the guys from, as we said, Wave Tech. You can find them at wavetech-usa.com. Get your homework done so you guys know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Just kidding. Don't worry. That's what we're going to be doing the show for, so you can figure out what the heck it is we're talking about.
Maybe you guys are interested.
We're going to rebroadcast that on Thursday, so for all you YouTube guys that are like, I don't have a Facebook page, sorry, don't worry about it. You'll get to see the conversation that we had.
Yeah.
You guys need to check those things out. Sometimes the view count on those are low. I understand. It's an hour-long show, but just listen to it. Run it in the background. It's great. When we get these guys on the show, the stuff we talk about is awesome. So for those of you guys that are like, it's an hour-long show, just like this one, trust me, you want to watch those things because they are filled with information.
Have a nice day.
To help you guys. D&F Tool Drawer is a place where you can get cool tools like the lights hanging on the wall back there. Teespring/store/com Teespring/store/5star.com is a place where you can find 5-star shirts. And of course, we're on Patreon. If you feel like supporting the show, we greatly appreciate it. Otherwise, you guys have a wonderful weekend. It's Saturday. We get our 1 day off. High five.
See you later.
Yeah. Bye. Rocking the 1 day offers. All right. Yeah. We'll see you guys again on Monday. Have a wonderful, safe weekend.
Bye.